personal capital. Join me and download free language at personalcapital.com. Untitled Chapter.
Okay, a few more, a few more minutes and I'll get started. Can you guys hear me? Let me know you guys can hear me. I'm having issues with my asthma, so I'm gonna talk as best as I can. Let me know you can hear me. Welcome, welcome. Let me know if you guys can hear me.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm gonna get started in a little while. Just I got a few people dropping in. Take note of my email address right there because I want you guys to send me, just send me an email stating that you were in this webinar so I can send you guys some documentation when this is over. That way I know who all was in here, who to send it to.
Is it a Yahoo or Gmail?
Okay, let me get this started. Okay, can y'all see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Excuse my voice because like I said, I have asthma, so I'm gonna talk to you. If you guys have any questions, it'll be questions at the end. Any questions that you have. So this is a step-by-step guide to building your personal credit score. I am the credit chef. And the objectives for this webinar is to learn what is personal credit, the PIs, what are they? What does geographical location matter in credit repair? The secondary bureaus, the scoring system, utilization, debt to income ratio, and the deletion process. We're going to start with what is personal credit. Personal credit is what you build by showing trustworthiness when it comes to paying your bills on time and in full, from credit cards to automobile loans to home loans. Doing so increases your credit standing. So basically, paying your bills on time. There's a little trick that I've learned. When you pay your credit cards, you don't pay them on the actual due date. You pay them prior to the statement date. And I'll explain a little bit more in that a little later in this presentation. Okay, so PIs. Your PIs are your personal identifiers. And what that means is your name, including your quote unquote aliases, the misspelled reported names, your birth date, your social security number, which is not supposed to be on your credit report. It's only supposed to be the last four. Your current and past home addresses, phone numbers, and your current and past employers. Now, these personal identifiers need to be updated prior to you starting your credit repair. Reason being is a lot of your old information is tied to those old accounts that you're trying to get rid of. So I put a screenshot of what mine says. And here it has my first, middle name, and last name, which is correct. Here it says my first, middle initial, and last name, which is correct. And here it has, Equifax has the same. The only thing that I need to address on here is where it says Tyronda Say Cushman. That's not how it's listed on my ID. Also where it says Tyronda Michelle Cushman, that's not how it's listed on my ID. So basically, I call the credit bureaus and I say, hey, I have some personal information that's wrong with my credit report, and they will take it off over the phone. You do not have to, do a letter or anything like that. All personal identifiers can be done over the phone. The information that's kind of blocked out is old addresses that I need to have removed that were added on, and previous addresses that need to be removed that need to be added on. My birthday is listed correctly. Now, if you look at your credit report and you notice that, let me go down a little bit. If you look at your credit report and you notice that your birthday is listed year, date, month, that's wrong. It just being the year is fine. Adjusting your personal identifiers could be 1 to 2 points, up to 1 to 3 points added to your credit score. I've learned that too. So as I previously stated, it's the key. This is key because they could be tied to an old account that needs to be deleted. So if you get the address and everything is updated and you go attack this old account or the collection account, they won't have any information, personal information that's tied to that account on a report, and it's liable for deletion. Okay, so I'm gonna go on. So here, when I mentioned about geographical location, I've learned that your geographical location does play a factor in getting items deleted. I know it may not be a good thing, but it is. So my suggestion is, and I'm gonna tell you what I did. I'm in North Carolina. One of my addresses is one of my old addresses. I was disputing. And I noticed my items some things were getting deleted, other items were not. So I was in a class, in a seminar, and I learned, hey, change your address. Use an address in a more quote unquote prominent area. So what I did was I went to Zillow, and I looked up an address in Novi, Michigan, and I used that address, and I applied for something so that address could go on my credit report. So now when I dispute, I use that address. Now somebody asked me, they was like, well, what about your mail? I only use that address when I'm disputing. So if I get mail there, I get mail there. But as far as from the bureaus, that's just me. But if you choose to have your mail forwarded from said address, you can do that as well. But that's just what I do. But geographical location does play a part in getting items deleted. Does anybody have any questions so far? Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go down to the next slide. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the secondary bureaus. This plays a huge part in getting items deleted. So after you do update your personal identifiers or whatever the case may be, you're going to go to these secondary bureaus, and you're going to freeze all your freeze. It's going to be a security freeze on your information. LexisNexis, they house some public records, but I've learned lately that ours does it. Ours and LCI. LCI houses the bankruptcies. LCI, you can't put a freeze on LCI. However, you can put a freeze on ours. I had an issue with getting a bankruptcy removed off of TransUnion, and Equifax and Experian had removed it. I couldn't figure out for the life of me what was the holdup with TransUnion. So I was told, well, hey, just pull your report from ours. Lo and behold, there was my bankruptcy. So what I did was I sent the letter in to TransUnion. Well, I sort of created a document, because I do create documents, and I can show you how to do that too. I created a document that shows that I had no bankruptcy on ours and I had no bankruptcy on LCI. Also, because Equifax had already removed it, it was an automatic deletion from TransUnion. So I sent that letter in as well, and my bankruptcy got deleted. So you opt out of LexisNexis, CoreLogic, ours, and LCI, and ours is connected. LCI is affiliate of TransUnion and SageStream. LexisNexis and CoreLogic, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, houses information for public record as far as evictions and whatnot like that. So now we're going to talk about the scoring. What makes up your credit score, and how is your credit score broken down? So 30% is how much is owed. 10% is your new credit. 15% is the credit history, the length. 10% is your credit mix, simply your mix of accounts between revolving and installment. In other words, auto loans and credit cards. And 35% is your credit history. Now, the way you can boost your score, I've learned personally, based on experiences with myself and my clients, is you keep your utilization under 10%. Previously, it was 30%. I'm going to say under 10% each credit card or each lender. And the credit age also plays a factor. So I have clients who, they want their student loans removed. I say, well, are they in good standing? Well, yeah, but if they're in good standing, leave them there. Because what happens is, if you remove a good standing student loan you lose your credit history. And then clients are wondering why their credit score dropped. Well, because you lost you lost 15% of your credit, your history there. So that's why your score dropped. Let's see here. Your credit score ranges from 300 to 850. Let's see here. Okay, so credit monitoring. So there's a credit monitoring service that I use called Identity IQ. And I pretty much like it because with TransUnion credit monitoring, you're only paying for TransUnion, one price. But with Identity IQ, you're paying $30 a month, but you're paying for all three bureaus. And it's really not that expensive. And what it does is it will alert you when your credit score decreases, increases, account updates, when addresses are being added. I recommend Identity IQ and not Credit Karma. Credit Karma is only good for cards or lines of credit that you may get approved for. So if you do not have an Identity IQ account, click the link below. Well, you could use that link below and you could get an account there. So let's see here. So I kind of touched on credit utilization before. We will touch on it a little bit more because this is what helps increase your credit score. It's best to keep your credit usage 10% and below. This will help in increasing your credit score as well as keeping your score balance across the board. This can be done by paying your credit cards by the statement date. So if you don't know your statement date, just call your credit cards and ask them, what's my statement date? So say, for example, if you have a credit card and your limit is 500 and you use the entire 500, as long as you pay that entire 500 by the statement date, your credit utilization will remain the same. It won't budge, and that will increase your score. So let's see here. Let's keep going. Any questions so far? Okay. So now we're going on to debt income ratio. Basically, the debt income ratio is pretty much used when you are trying to buy a house. Lenders use the DTI ratio to help them to calculate how much additional debt you can handle and be able to pay your mortgage. Whether or not you're going to be a credit risk for them, the ratio is reached by dividing your total monthly debt payments by what you earn per month, then multiply that number by 100 to get your percentage. And basically, that's what the lenders, the lenders use to basically see if you have enough residual income to be able to pay your bills and be able to pay your mortgage. This is what they use to basically come up with your mortgage payment as well. So the deletion process starts with you pull your credit report from Identity IQ. Highlight any inaccuracies and negative accounts, in other words, collections, bankruptcy, student loans, late payments, etc. Update your PIs, and you can do that by calling the bureaus to update. And I will provide you the numbers and letters via email. All these steps that I'm telling you, I will provide you the letters to be able and the information to be able to do this. You attack the old inquiries that are not connected to any open accounts. Do not remove any inquiries that are connected to any open accounts, because what's going to happen is that account is going to close. You attack your late payments. I have a late payment letter and I have a late payment hack for that. Attack your negative accounts. I will provide you with an ebook for that or the letters for that. Note, negative accounts removal could take up to 45 days to process. Okay, let's keep moving. So the bonus is I have people ask me about some business credit. And so here are some beginning stages that you can use to start your business credit. And the first thing you do is, and this is free, you don't have to go to LegalZoom. You don't have to get a lawyer to get your EIN. You simply go to irs.gov. In the search bar, you type in apply for EIN, employment identification number, and you put in the information. I advise you not to do sole proprietor. I advise you to do LLC. And I say that because sole proprietor, God forbid anything happens to the business, sole proprietor, they'll come after you. LLC is strictly business. After you attain your LLC, not your LLC, after you obtain your EIN, you go to DUNS website and you obtain a DUNS number. Now with DUNS, you either have to have a website or a landing page. I suggest a landing page. That way when they click on that link, it'll see that you have a quote unquote website. A landing page is a lot simpler to create. And you don't have to, you can do the website. You can do that later, but to get started with your DUNS number, I suggest a landing page. Then after you get your, actually you don't have to wait to get your DUNS number to apply for your NAF account. You can go ahead and register with the NAF account. And also too, with your NAF account, if you get the NAF boost, you they report to DUNS as well. Another thing to apply for is you file for your articles of corporation with your state. And usually that's between $50 and $100. That helps with obtaining business bank accounts because they do ask for that. I know Bank of America does. Then after you go through all those steps, your tier 1, these would be your 90-day vendors that to start with tier 1. Quill, Uline, and Granger. Quill, for them to start invoicing, you have to place an order of $100 or more. Uline and Granger, you have to place orders, maybe like 3 to 5 orders before they start invoicing you. And you pay them before they start invoicing you. But all 3 of them report to your Duns and Bradstreet. And you do that for approximately 90 days, and Duns will give you a paydex score. And once you get your paydex score, then you can go on to tier 2. And tier 2 is the next tier, which will be in another webinar for you. And we'll go from there. Now, I just wanted to let you know I am offering some services. I am offering a bankruptcy removal tutorial course, and the content includes suppressing the bureaus that holds the public record, which I told you is ours and LCI for bankruptcies. Contacting the U.S. court in your state, which I'm going to tell you, the U.S. court does not report bankruptcies to the bureaus. Requesting your report from the secondary bureau, learning how to read your report stating the bankruptcy. And I say that because if it's stated on two of your bureaus, it's automatic deletion. Writing letters for removal, the factual disputing for said bankruptcies. And I will provide you with all letters needed for the bankruptcy removals. Also, here's my products and services that I offer. Inquiry removal book, a template tutorial on how to create your own business documentation that gets late payments removed. I can show you how to create your business documentation to get late payments removed. I promise you it works. credit repair ebook, step by step with everything in it. I also offer bankruptcy removal services and credit repair services. Here is some testimony and results. Inquiry removals. I had a client and she had 57 inquiries, and I got all of them removed, every last one of them. The inquiries, there are some of the inquiries there. That M&M credit collection, that was removed, and it increased my client score 48 points. And I'm going to open the floor for any questions. Questions? Any questions?
So just to make sure, the first step is to suppress not only the first with the TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, but the secondary as well.
No, not the actual bureaus, just the secondary bureaus.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
the secondary bureaus, you suppress those. But when you send me an email, just say, I was in the webinar, and I'm gonna send you the documentation for that.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
How soon have you started seeing results for your clients, or what time frame have you seen results based on strategies that you're using?
You know what? It's interesting you asked that, because it takes up to 45 days, but I've seen some results in less than a week. I've seen results in less than 2 weeks. And it's sad to say, but some of them are based on geographical location. And I'd be shocked. I'm like, well, it's working for this person, but not this person. So I add an address. I do an address change. I add an address, and the items get removed. I haven't had a client where it takes up to 45 days. Honestly, I haven't.
Or what types of items?
Late payments, collection removal. I had a client who had a collection just added on her report, and I got it removed the same day. So it depends. And it was a medical collection, and I got it removed the same day.
That's dope.
So it depends on what it is, but the late payments, I haven't had anybody where it took 45 days.
Is there a limit on those late payments? Is it like for clients who had a small amount, or
Nope.
It doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter. What I do is I create the letter, and my wording in the letter, it gets the late payments removed. No matter how many, it could be in 2019, 2020, 2021, all the late payments are removed based on what I put in the letter.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. The credit stuff.
I know.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah, because we dropped some gems in your ear.
Sure did.
Yep. So, those letters, yeah. And when you guys drop your emails, I'm going to send you the late payment letter that I created.
Now that's dope. That's $1 million worth of game right there.
Yeah, I created this letter, and it removes late payments. I was like, ah. As a matter of fact, a client was trying to refinance on his mortgage, and he had an actual late payment with the mortgage company. Me being the credit chef, me knowing how to create documentation, needless to say, I got the late payment off, and he was able to refinance. And his mortgage, he was able to get his mortgage less than what he was paying for previously. Any more questions, ladies? I sure do appreciate y'all joining me. I'm so excited.
I don't have any questions, but shout out to you. Is this your first webinar?
Yes, it is, Robbie.
Good job, good job.
Oh,
Yes,
thank you.
you
Keep
Thank you.
did a
building on
good
it, keep
job.
marketing it, and just make sure when you sending it out, you send it out to all marketing channels. That's how I get higher numbers: email marketing, text message marketing, and then obviously word of mouth. The consistency will definitely help you.
I appreciate you so much. You know, I love you, girl.
No problem, Auntie.
Yeah, you know, yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I want to take your mentorship class. If you want to, I can open up the floor for you if you want to talk about it for everybody that's here if you want to.
I don't want to take up space on your webinar talking about my stuff.
Okay, but she has an awesome mentorship program, ladies. She's awesome. But anyway, I appreciate you, ladies. Look her up on Instagram. That's her name right there. And yeah, follow her. I appreciate you, ladies, and I will be reaching out to your emails and sending you all the documentation that I promised you. And thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much. I
Thank
appreciate it.
you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.